Hello, class. I'm Professor Tom Mandeville of Clinton Community College, and I'm going to be your professor this spring semester at the college in History 101 in the distance learning format, which is early American history. I'm recording this message today to make sure that everybody gets off on the right foot in this class, gets a good start so everyone can be successful. So I want to clarify several things about the class, how it'll operate, and so forth. First of all, let me introduce myself a little bit more. I've been teaching at Clinton Community College since the fall of 1990. I mainly teach American history, but I also teach some political science courses, including national government and state and local government. Usually, most of my teaching efforts are done in the classroom, but unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, I'm teaching all my courses in the distance learning format this semester, as I did last semester in the fall. But to make it as close as possible to the in-class learning environment, in which typically I'm a lecture-based professor. I'm at Clinton. If we were on campus and you were talking to your fellow classmates and students, you'd know I'm known as the storyteller, because that's basically what I do. Come in every day, class meets, and tell you stories about American history and weave them all together as the story of our country. Now, online, obviously, I can't do that, but yes, I can. After we went remote last spring, after spring break, I purchased the iPad that I'm talking to you through right now, and since then, I've recorded more than 100 lectures for my courses to try to replicate what you would see in the classroom. So when you get into the course, and I'll explain this a little bit later, you're going to find a bunch of video lectures embedded into the Moodle course. Now, a little bit more about myself. I'm originally from the state of Michigan. As an undergraduate, I went to Eastern Michigan University. Then I did my graduate work at Bowling Green State University in Northwest Ohio. My family and I moved here, as I mentioned before, in the fall of 1990. I now consider myself a New Yorker. I've lived in the state of New York longer than any other state in my life, and I'm quite proud to be a New Yorker. And I'm also feeling quite lucky to have landed here in the North Country, not only because it's such a great place to live, but also it's a hotbed of history, especially early American history. Many important events happen right in our own backyard. So, with that said, you'll find out I have a real passion for American history. It's basically my life's work, and I'm going to try to share the knowledge that I've gained over the past 40 years or so since I went to college and whatnot. So, the next thing I want to tell you about is how the class is actually going to operate. You'll be getting emails from the college telling you that what day the course will open, how to access it through the student portal and whatnot. When I get one of those emails, I'll include it and make sure that you all get it too by sending it to you in case you missed it. And that brings up another very important point right off the bat. All of you must get in the habit of reading your Clinton Community College email account on a daily basis. And the reason why it's so important, especially for this course, it's how I'm going to communicate with you. I'm not going to be on campus at all where you can come to an office hour. In fact, I haven't been on campus since last March during spring break. And I will not return to campus until I've received the vaccine. So the only way you can contact me is via email. And I'll email important messages to you about the course and whatnot. Clinton Community College will be emailing you important messages. Your other professors will. It's also how I'll send you grade updates, because I do not use the Moodle grade book, as you'll discover when you look at the class. I do it via email. And after you complete an assignment, that's how I'll return your completed assignment to you, graded in Microsoft Word. So there's another important point to bring up before we actually get into the nitty-gritty of the class. All of you as students at Clinton Community College get free access to Microsoft Office 365. There's links on the website. I put links in the course itself, just in case you haven't downloaded it yet. You need to go register and get Office 365 on your computer. So, with that said, let's get down to how this thing's going to work. The class will open on Monday, January 25th. You'll be watching this video sometime around that point. All the distance learning classes, those with that DL after their, this class is History 101-DL. Other classes will have the -DL. All of those open on January 25th, a week before the regular semester begins. On-campus classes, if you happen to have one, and there aren't going to be a lot, that's for sure, and they're all going to be in remote form in some shape or another. You might have some actual on-campus meetings. That will start the 1st of February. But this class opens up on the 25th, and we're going to get right to work. So, on the 25th, what you're going to want to do is enter the class through the Clinton website, Clinton Online, and you'll enter into Moodle, which is the platform we use. Moodle is a very user-friendly platform. I've used 2 other platforms, and Moodle is by far the best. And once you get in there and you get into my course, the first thing you need to do is go to the course information documents, which is essentially the same thing as the syllabus I'd be handing you on day 1 if we were sitting in a classroom at Clinton Community College. You need to review all those documents. They're very important. In there, you'll find such things as there's a very important schedule of when all the different modules within the course will open and close, when assignments are due, and so forth. There's another important section entitled My Expectations, where I try to spell out to you what you really need to do to be successful in my distance learning course. And also you'll find in those course information documents information on the textbook that you're going to need to purchase. Now, this is the textbook. Give Me Liberty, An American History by a very prestigious and well-known professor from Columbia University, Eric Foner. This is Volume 1 of the 6th full edition. The ISBN and all that is right on in the Moodle containing the course information documents. You must purchase this textbook. Now, you can purchase it in different forms. You can obviously just buy it outright. You could buy just the ebook. I believe you can rent this textbook. I'm not so positive about that. But another thing that is very, very extremely important, Whatever form you purchase it in, you must also purchase access to Inquisitive. Inquisitive, as you'll find out when you enter the course, is the form that all the chapter quizzes are in. And if you don't have the access code from Norton, the publisher, you won't be able to complete those quizzes. So you have to purchase this book with the access. Now, I really don't care what you buy. If you're comfortable having an e-book, it's much less expensive. You know, if you can sit in front of a computer screen and read a textbook, some people are very comfortable doing that. Others aren't. You're going to need the hard copy. But regardless, you need it with Inquisitive access. And if you cannot purchase a textbook in some form, you need to drop this course. It's required. You cannot complete the course without the textbook. Find a different course during drop ad week where you can afford whatever materials they require. This is what I require. Also, other requirements of this course are pretty obvious. You have to own a computer at your home because you're not going to be able to go to any computer labs at the college or your local library. They're all closed because of COVID-19. And you need a reliable internet connection at your home. If you don't have those, you'll never be successful in this course either. So, once you have read the course information documents, you can jump right into the section entitled the Introduction, or Module 1, as I call it. In there will be some simple discussions just to get you in the mode of discussing historic topics, which is also a major part of the course. So jump right in. The first question I pose is, what is history? You and your classmates are going to talk about that. Then you'll also find in this introductory section, which, by the way, opens on January 30th, a Saturday. Jump right in right away and get working, because that's when the course starts for all intents and purposes as far as graded material. Excuse me, that's when Module 2 opens. I'll get back to that in a second. But also what you'll find in the introduction, which opens on the 25th. There's an extra credit essay assignment. That assignment is due on February 3rd. It's a short essay you write. It's a simple assignment. I encourage everybody to do it because that and the map exercises in Inquisitive are the only extra credit opportunities you have all semester. And that extra credit assignment that I just mentioned, its due date is February 3rd, and no late assignments will be accepted, period. So, that's the case for the extra credit assignment. That's the case for every single assignment in this course. I don't accept anything late. You download or print out that course schedule, you'll know well in advance of when everything in the class is due. So there's no excuses for late assignments, and I don't accept them, period. Haven't in my 30 years of teaching, and I'm not about to start now. So, another thing you'll find in the introductory section is an assignment that you must do. That's select a topic for your local history paper. You're going to be writing a paper in this class, and it's a major portion of your grade, on a local history subject or topic. So for most of you, this local history topic, after you read this assignment in detail, you'll discover, is something that happened from prehistory times, back when only Native Americans lived in the Champlain Valley, up until April of 1865 is the cutoff date. It has to be something local. to the North Country, to the Champlain Valley, because that's where most of you live. If you live elsewhere, I've had students all across the country take this course, then it's going to be local to where you live. But most of you live in the North Country, and it's going to be a local North Country topic. You're lucky there's tons of them. Going back to Native American times, you could write about the Iroquois or the Abenaki. You could write about Samuel de Champlain. You could write about the French and Indian War. Fort William Henry, Fort Ticonderoga, the Battle of Pointe-à-Fer. You could write about the Revolutionary War, the capture of Fort Ty, Saratoga, the Battle of Elcourt. You could write about the Battle of Plattsburgh. The list goes on and on and on. You could write about the Underground Railroad. You could write about a whole host of subjects up here in the North Country that happened from back in the days when only Native Americans lived here up until, April of 1865. I gotta get a drink of water. Now, so, as I prematurely said before, Module 2 will open on Saturday, January 30th, and it'll close on February 9th. You'll notice that the name of this particular module is Early Native American History. So, once that opens, you'll see the assignments due. You're going to have to read Chapter 1 in your textbook, as you'll see. The Chapter 1 inquisitive quiz will be assigned to you. For extra credit, there's a Chapter 1 map exercise. And then you'll see that you need to jump to the discussions. Now, the discussions that you're going to be entering in on a routine basis throughout the course of the semester are based on the assigned reading material, which in this case is going to be Chapter 1. The mini lectures that you'll find in that particular module, where I've put together what basically we're studying, and I've included some links to important sites out on the internet and historic sites. And they'll also be embedded in those mini lectures, my video lectures that typically you would view in a classroom. So, with all that in mind, that's how you're going to enter the discussions. I start out the discussions by posing some basic questions, but then it's up to all of you to pose your own questions based on the material I just described, answer questions your classmates pose, and have a full-fledged, full-blown discussion on the topics at hand. This is a major part of your grade, and I expect you to be entering the discussion in each module at least 5 days a week if you want to be successful. And another thing, don't think you can wait till the last day that the module's open and in a panic enter into the discussion, because basically you'll get little, if any, points for that. It's ridiculous. The rest of your classmates can't comment on what you're saying. They can't read what you're saying about their comments. The last day is just for wrap-up. So, that's what you're going to need to do right off the bat. I look forward to working with you this semester. Hopefully, by the fall, we'll be back in the classroom. We'll all be vaccinated and back to some sort of normalcy. But in the meantime, we got to make do with what we have. We're going to have to do this in the distance learning format. And I've tried to make it the best that I possibly can with these video recorded lectures. So, everybody, wear your masks, get vaccinated as soon as you're eligible, and we'll get through this together. And I'd also encourage you, if you don't have to go anywhere, stay home. COVID right now is really running rampant in Plattsburgh. So if you don't have to go anywhere, stay home. So be safe, everybody. I'll be seeing you soon through my iPad. and I look forward to working with all of you this semester. Take care. Bye now.